Hello, my name is Beck and welcome to a reading vlog. I haven't filmed one of these in ages and I thought I'd just start one for this week. So it's the 1st of July and it's Monday, it's around 8 in the morning and I'm about to go to work, but I wanted to drop in and start this vlog. So I'm reading Queenslayer by Sebastian de Castell at the moment. I'm loving this, I'm about 80 pages into it. Already Kellen is being the character that I absolutely love and he's so sarcastic and funny and he's already in trouble and it's basically on page 1, so I'm loving this one. I'm also listening to Before They Are Hanged on audiobook and I'm about 50% through. I want to say I'm halfway. I'm really liking that one as well. So I am listening to one adult fantasy on audiobook and I'm reading a fantasy on a physical book, but I just love fantasy, what can I say? So I can't wait to finish these two in this vlog. I'm hoping to finish both of them this week. I've fallen behind really far on my reading challenge. I'm about 4 or 5 books behind. So I want to kind of use this vlog before I jump into some readathons in July and August to get myself on track and to get used to filming with my camera, because I'm not used to filming with my camera. I'm used to filming with my phone, but I recently got a new camera, so that's what I'm using today. I'm also recovering from being sick, so if my voice sounds funny at any point in this vlog, then that is why. I better leave my car and go and catch the train. I'm sorry if you can hear construction or cars driving past, but I can't find a quiet place to film, so we're just gonna have to roll with it. But I will catch you in my next clip. I'll update you with what I'm reading. I have a few things that I want to get through, but I don't want to say them just in case I only get through Queenslayer and my audiobook, so we'll see how we go. I can't wait to film this vlog. I'm really excited. I haven't done a vlog in ages, so let's hope this turns out well. Hello, so it is the end of my vlog and I wanted to sit down and update you because I extended this vlog until Tuesday in the hopes that I would finish Queenslayer, but it didn't turn out that that actually happened. So I have it here. I've got about 50 pages left of this one. I'm really loving it. It's definitely going to be a 5 stars for me, but I was trying to finish it before I filmed this final clip, but I was worried that I would start crying because I don't know what the ending is going to be like. So to preserve the makeup that I put on, I didn't finish this before I filmed this clip, but I'm definitely going to finish it within the next few days. So I will finish it this week. It's currently the 9th of July, it's Tuesday, and it's about 9:30 in the mornings. So I'm just really glad that I got through this one. I'm really liking how different Kellen is compared to what he was like in Soulbinder and the previous books preceding this one. He seems to have grown in the last book as a character to understand himself, and now in this book he's kind of starting to understand how politics in the world works and how he works within that. And I really like how these books kind of delve into a different theme and a different understanding of Kellen that he would have with himself and with others around him, and the constant relationships that he has with some of the integral characters in this compared to who he runs into really start to show who he is. And I really like that he's explored in such depth. It really makes me like him and understand his decisions and get behind him when he does stupid stuff, because I know that he'll come back and repent for it later. So I'm really liking this, as you can probably tell. I'll talk about it more in a wrap up, but I predict this is going to be a 5 out of 5 star book, so really pleased with this one. The next one is called Crownbreaker and it comes out in October, so I'm really psyched that the next one comes out so soon and I can't wait to finish this one and pick that one up because I love Sebastian de Castell's writing. I think he's incredible. The next book that I finished for this reading vlog is Before They Are Hanged by Abercrombie, and this is the second book in his first law series, and I had started this before I started this reading vlog. I don't want to give too much away because obviously it's a sequel and I have just started the next book, which is The Last Argument of Kings, and I'm like 15% into this audiobook. I've barely started it, but I do really like it, and the characters in the second and first book really grew on me, and one of the characters in the first book was really arrogant and I didn't really like him, but he's kind of had the sense knocked into him, quite literally, and I really like how he's turning out in this book. I like the decisions he's making. I like how he's becoming kind of a hero, but it's not the ideal hero that we would like. It's just him trying to be better. and the characters in this series really explore themselves morally. And when I was listening to it, I was actually comparing it to The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, which is a pretty big statement in and of itself considering how much of a favourite author Sanderson is to me. But the reason I was comparing them is because The Stormlight Archive has these characters in it that are really idealistic and they're the heroes. They strive to be the best that they can be and often they achieve that. Whereas in this series, it's a little bit more morally grey. The characters definitely aren't good, but they're not really evil either. Well, I mean, most of them aren't particularly evil, but they don't try and stick to all of these major ideals and become the hero. They just try and be the best that they can be, even though they've got a dark past. And I really liked Logan in this series, Logan Ninefingers, and I compared him a lot to Dalinar in the Stormlight Archive when I was reading this, just because Dalinar has such a dark past and he's trying to make himself better, and in a lot of ways he's achieved that, but the darkness still haunts him. Whereas Logan in this series, he acknowledges that he's done these really dark things and he wants to become better, but he also doesn't stop killing people at the same time. So it's kind of an interesting take on what you want to be morally and what you actually are in reality. And I really like that about this series. I really like the character dynamics in this series. I'm really psyched to finish this one because in the first book I was kind of sold on maybe one or two of the characters, and in the second book I was actually kind of interested in the politics that a character Glokta really drives, and I didn't think that I would be very much into the politics of this because they seemed really dry when I thought about it and talked about it, but I actually really liked the character of Glokta. So the characters in this are really strong. The writing in this is really strong. I'm just struggling to get on board with some of the plot elements. I'm just really struggling to get behind the plot of this book, and I feel like that's where this series falls down a little bit. Not majorly, I still give this series 4 stars and up. I don't know what I want to rate this one, but I know that I've given the second book 4.5 stars out of 5, and that's a pretty decent rating for me. So to stop rambling on, and I'm going to talk about these more in a wrap up, so you'll hear more of my thoughts later down the track. I really like this series. I think it's a great political, dark, morally grey fantasy with likeable characters and humour in it as well. I was really surprised that I laughed a lot in this story. You get a third person perspective, so you see from the point of view from a lot of different characters, but with that third person perspective you kind of get an insight directly into some of their thoughts as well. So it does let you tap into that character that you're hearing from in each perspective, and it lets you relate to them in that way and see directly what they're thinking, which is probably why I can connect with this a lot more than I could connect with like Sabriel, for example, which I talked about in my previous wrap up, because that was written in such a way that the third person didn't really vibe with me. I feel like I could connect more with the characters in this book as opposed to Sabriel, which was a little bit more removed and it didn't have the direct line into their thoughts the way that this series does it. So I would definitely recommend this if you're into fantasy. Probably not necessarily your first fantasy read because it's quite graphic when it comes to sex and violence as well, and it's quite political, and it's definitely an adult fantasy. So if you're brave, I would encourage you to pick this up because I'm really enjoying it, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. I'm really psyched that for this reading vlog I actually felt accountable and I actually did some reading physically because I've been lacking on that lately, which I've talked about here and there in my vlogs. I am very behind on my reading challenge. I'm like 5 or 6 books behind, and I brought my challenge down to 80 books instead of 100. So I'm hoping with the Newts readathon coming up and the reading rush coming up that I can jump into some readathons and actually boost that number a little bit so that I'm not so far behind, because I do have a few graphic novels that I want to read. So those TBRs are coming. I'm going to be filming those today actually, so I can't wait to dive into those TBRs. I'm really excited for what's coming up, and I'm a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to Deviate because I thought that I would be reading this in this reading vlog, but I think I just got ahead of myself a little bit. I picked this up when I went to Sydney recently, so I'll link that vlog below because it's just a nice little adventure and I really liked going. I definitely can't wait to go back to Sydney, but I digress. I am really happy that I read some fantasy books for this reading vlog. If you have read either of these, please do let me know. I highly encourage you to pick up Spellslinger, which is the first book in Sebastian de Castell's series. It's one of my favourite YA fantasy series and I just love it to death. I love all of the characters so much, so please read it because it is one of my absolute favourites. Thank you so much for watching this reading vlog and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.